See that?
So we are preparing this live stream.
Okay. Started thinking that and you said I was gonna do it.
Starting from the prayer.
Okay.
So funny because I was like, I saw that. But, oh my God, that's so funny. I guess that helped us to So when I say Chandlandi, I'm like, déjenlo. It's an escort.
It's an escort.
Pero go like this, como juega el character. It's called escort. Let them think that it's Chandlandi. I don't know. Just have fun. Alright, I'm just whatever. You just do it together. I'm like 56. That's good. Okay. Estoy nervioso. Bueno, ya estoy nervioso porque ya los nerviosos son ellos. Technology sounds. I mean, it's good for something. Like, there's a part of it that it's great. But the other part is like, oh my God, you can't rely on technology. You can't rely on it. That's why it's no hay nada como en persona. En persona it's everything's great. Of course, but theater's great. But any actor should actually have, they should actually do a play before they actually do anything else. Just so they have the knowledge or the experience of being in front of an audience.
Sam, can you let us know when we're going to go live?
What's Murphy's Law? What can go wrong will go wrong?
Yes.
That is.
todos los que fueron afectados por el virus, a todos los que fueron muertos de repente por este virus, que nos está afectando a todos. Les deseamos que estén en Mitlán, la tierra de los muertos, a todos, a sus familias también les deseamos lo más bonito, a todos cuidarnos aquí. Y también este es parte de nuestras tradiciones, que no dejamos de celebrarlas. El virus tiene unos 6, 7 meses, nosotros tenemos 500 años de resistir, de celebrar la tradición, muchos años más. Ojalá que podamos permanecer aquí. Le deseamos al Creador, le pedimos al Creador que nos cuide. Solo un milagro puede hacer esto. Somos un pueblo de fe y le pedimos al Creador que nos proteja y nos libre de todo esto para poder seguir con nuestra cultura, seguir con nuestras tradiciones. Aquí en Los Ángeles, con las mujeres de la tierra, estamos dando las gracias al Creador y pidiendo por aquellos que fueron afectados por el virus, de que estamos sufriendo todavía esto del virus, del COVID. Él es Dios. La señora Irma, le llamo lo más bonito, Él es Dios. Él es Dios.
Uy, me vas a quebrar. Bienvenidos.
This is the first, actually, when I was a Chambelán de Honor, that was 15 years ago when I was a Chambelán de Honor de tu Quinceanera.
Ay,
And here we are celebrating another Quinceanera tonight.
Welcome to Mujeres de la Tierra Quinceanera. We are doing it Latino Quinceanera style, but in all reality, what it is 15 years of existence of community work.
Yes. By the way, how do you say Chambelán de Honor? In English.
La verdad no sé.
Anyway, bueno, aquí está su Chambelán de Honor for you guys to dance. ¿Quieren bailar? Bailemos. Pero bueno, vamos a hablar del programa. Let's talk about the program.
Yes, thank you so much. We know that with COVID, all these events had to be streamed live. So thank you so much for your patience and your collaboration with this event.
That's right. We're going to have a lot of surprises for you guys. There's padrinos, there's madrinas, there's a lot of music numbers, and what else?
Pues, muchas celebraciones. But for now, we want to introduce ourselves. I am María de los Remedios.
Y yo soy Antonio Cabezón.
Y después les vamos a platicar un poquito más de qué se trata eso. But for now, we're going to let you know about upgrading your tickets. So there's going to be 3 break rooms after we honor our madrinas, our padrinos, and we share with you all these fun videos that we have for you. What are the 3 different
There's
break rooms?
3 activities. So one of them is La Lotería with personalized cards. That means that instead of hearing el nopal, la chalupa, we're going to hear la mera mera, la jefa, mujer, madre tierra, en el parque. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And on top of that, you have a chance of winning a $50 gift card from Northgate Supermarkets and a lot of mujer swag. There's also the second activity is alebrije making class where you're going to be making an alebrije, and it's going to be by the artist. It's going to be hosted by the Mexican artist Amaury Sanabria. He's a very fabulous artist.
Yeah.
And the third activity is a mixology.
Cabezon, I got it from here. A mixology class with the holidays coming up. Let's take advantage of this mixology class where they're going to teach 5 cocktails with very simple ingredients, but they're going to be delicious. So you can go ahead and upgrade those tickets right over at this section, and you can click that button and it'll allow you to upgrade, and just stick around and we'll go ahead and break you off into that break room.
So we already talked about padrinos, madrinas, drinks, but there is no celebration without music. Sin música no hay celebración. And for that, we have a 9-piece Los Angeles-based group that wears a traditional charro suit featuring the Rams throwback colors, which are
Royal blue
and yellow. And for this, vamos a darle la bienvenida a
the LA Rams Mariachi.
¡Tóquele mariachi!
Que toque, que toque.
El mariachi.
Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Hoy por ser día de su santo, se las cantamos aquí. Despierta, mi bien, despierta, mira que ya amaneció. Y a los pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Qué linda está la mañana en que vengo a saludarte. Venimos todos con gusto y placer a felicitarte. El día en que tú naciste, nacieron todas las flores. Y en la pila del bautismo cantaron los ruiseñores. Con jazmines y flores este día voy a adornar. Hoy por ser día de su santo le venimos a cantar.
El día en que tú naciste, nacieron todas las flores. ¿Sabías que the LA Rams, the Mariachi LA Rams, is led by the Grammy-nominated recording artist and producer Jose Hernandez? He's the one who's in charge of the Mariachi Sol de Mexico.
Wow.
But before that, I would like to introduce you this mujer. Esta mujer es luchona. I had the chance of co-hosting a charity event, Dia de los Muertos, last year, and she's luchona. She's really smart. Es la mera mera. And sabe lo que está haciendo. She knows what she's doing.
Exactly. She knows so well that she was nominated by Eric Garcetti himself to the City of Los Angeles Board of Public Works in September 2019. She was confirmed by the City Council and currently serves as a board liaison of the Bureau of Streets of Los Angeles, you know, the streets of LA, and the City Forest Officer. Without further ado, I introduce to you the board chair of Mujeres de la Tierra, Miss
Teresa Villegas.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well. I apologize for some of our glitches this evening. It's a sign of the times of what we're going through now. And thank you everyone for your patience. I also wanted to thank Dan and Graciela for their leadership also with our program tonight, and all of the people in the background helping us out with all these technical difficulties, unfortunately, that we've experienced. At this time, I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us. I also just wanted to give you a brief overview of our wonderful organization, Mujeres de la Tierra. You're here, obviously, because of your connection to the organization or your willingness to help us out. As you'll hear tonight, just from our honorees and from many who are our friends to the organization, we are an organization of 15 years, our Quinceanera. We firmly believe in the power of the community and in social change, and we can't do it alone. Our engagement efforts provide these tools to, give us facts and data and share that information, with our communities in a way that's culturally relevant in our communities. I sound like I'm rambling, but I apologize. We do Ocean Day in Sacramento. We do local plantings in and around Los Angeles, which you'll hear more about. At this time, I do want to take a moment to also share with you my apologies. Of course, it is opportune, right, that every time I have to speak, my dog has to bark in the background. So I apologize for that. At this time, I do want to take the moment just to thank our guest speaker who will be just thanking the organization for our Quinceanera. We will start off the evening with Mayor Garcetti sending us a congratulatory message. And he is a friend also to the organization for many years and obviously believes in our mission. Mayor Garcetti is a champion for the environment, and that's where we intersect. Through the Green New Deal that is currently being implemented by all city agencies to curb our greenhouse gases and plant more trees and conserve many of our natural resources, I bring you Mayor Garcetti.
Muy buenas noches. Good evening. I'm Mayor Eric Garcetti, and I want to welcome you to the Mujeres de la Tierra virtual fundraiser. And I'm so thrilled to join so many dear friends across our city to celebrate this quinceañera. And I want to recognize a few of LA's leading lights. My dear friend, Congresswoman Karen Bass, Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, Council Member Kevin DeLeon, DWP Commissioner Mia Lehrer, Marty Adams and Enrique Zaldivar, the general managers of our Department of Water and Power and LA Sanitation, as well as the professional and lay leadership of Mujeres de la Tierra, led by the fearless one and only Irma Munoz. This has been a difficult year for all of us as we confront a pandemic, an economic downturn, massive wildfires, and one environmental disaster after the next. But we know that some communities are always hit harder than others. Immigrant communities, communities where low-income folks and people of color live, these are especially vulnerable. And it is the work of Mujeres de la Tierra that has never been more important. For 15 years, this organization has built community, empowered new leaders, inspired people of all walks of life to act to create a more healthy, just, a more equitable city. In every new neighborhood project, you've breathed life into a community. With every new initiative, you've embodied the difference between hope and hopelessness. And with every ounce of energy and effort, you've made LA more resilient for the challenges we face today and prepared for what we may confront tomorrow. So on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, thank you for all that you do, and here's to the next 15 years.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing those words with us, Mayor Eric Garcetti.
Yes, fun fact about Mr. Garcetti, he's the second consecutive Mexican-American mayor, and at the age of 42, es que hablamos Spanglish aquí, 42 at the time, he is the youngest in office in 100 years.
Wow, me quito el sombrero, muy bien hecho, Mayor Eric Garcetti.
Well, speaking of representation, Mujeres de la Tierra came about because there was a lack of Latino representation in our community. But this next person that we're going to present, this poderosa mujer, changed that. She's so amazing.
She's the founder of Mujeres de la Tierra, and her idea, well, the idea of the nonprofit is to, and the hope is to helping low-income communities to understand la madre de la tierra, to heal our Mother Earth. Y para esto, here we are, 15 years later, celebrating la mera mera, the CEO, the executive director,
Irma Munoz.
Oh.
Good evening. Tierra Quinceanera. Good evening y muy buenas tardes. Welcome to Mujeres de la Tierra Quinceanera. My name is Irma Munoz, and I'm the founder and the executive director of this incredible, wonderful organization. We are here to celebrate 15 years. A lot has changed in these last 15 years, but a lot has not. The first thing that has not is our mission statement. Our mission statement stays intact as when we first wrote it 15 years ago, to provide women with capacity and inspiration and tools of empowerment so they can change and lead the issues in their neighborhood for the benefit of their children. Other things that haven't changed: we have our moral compass, our guiding principles. We know exactly why we exist. We are here to work with women so they can find their voices and use it for the benefit of their community. Mujeres de la Tierra not only has a moral compass, has guiding principles, it truly understands why it exists. We exist because of the need the women have told us they need. So it's incredible. These women are already luchadoras when we meet them. If anything, they teach us more than we could ever teach them. I want to thank our board of directors who have stood, many of them, with us from beginning of time. One in particular, Adan Ortega. People say, what is Adan Ortega doing in a women's environmental organization? Well, actually, Adan has been on our board for 10 years, and out of those 7, he was the board chair. I'd like to thank our current chair, Ms. Teresa Villegas, and our other board members, and all of our donors and supporters who have really helped us and believed in us when people didn't get why we needed another quote-unquote environmental organization. And I basically said, well, we're not. We are healers of La Madre Tierra. We look at it culturally. We look at it through the viewpoint of how we were brought up. There's where the term, we do our work through a relevant cultural lens. What does that mean? When we're in a community or neighborhood, we're not there to indoctrinate. We are there to teach and inspire. We don't want to change anything about them, except to provide them with facts, science, and data so they can lead their issues and make the changes that they feel are best for their families. We have been very fortunate to have such an incredible core of volunteers, and I want to thank each and every one of them that we've had in the last 15 years. I've told you earlier, much has not changed at Mujeres, but the self-determination and the focus and the courage and the integrity is stronger now than it's ever been. But this is a quinceañera and it's a party. And I want to thank, first of all, the folks who've been with us since day one. Our madrina, Miss Mia Lear. Mia, I ran into her at the parking lot as if it were yesterday at the Los Angeles River Center. And she says, ¿qué es esto de Mujeres de la Tierra? ¿Qué necesitamos otro grupo? And if you know Mia, you know she could be very inquisitive and very pointed. And I said, well, we're an environmental equity organization. She says, environmental equity, what does that mean, Irma? Well, as I explained to her what we were all about, she says, sign me up, I want to be with you. How can I not be? I'm a Mujer de la Tierra too. And there are 2 other individuals, and those are padrinos. You know, in the Latino culture, when a young girl turns 15, it's a coming to age. She's going from childhood to womanhood. Just like Mujeres de la Tierra, we are going from a small nonprofit to being a real nonprofit with rich history, with accomplishments, with deliverables. People are checking us out now, including the Smithsonian Anacostia Museum from Washington, D.C. We now understand the reason of having a relevant cultural lens, to take things that our constituency grew up with, their language, their customs. For example, we have something called the Demonio de la Basura. El Demonio de la Basura was created for purposes of teaching our community about the horrors of plastics pollution. So we had this 13-foot mythical demon made of all plastic bottles that lights up, that is included in a lot of our educational programs in the schools and participates in parades. We have telenovelas in the park, which you're going to hear more about a little bit later. So everything we do educates and entertains, because it's time that we are part of the healing of La Madre Tierra It is time that we are relevant. When I first started the organization, people said, well, we don't need a Latina environment organization. What is that? And I was thinking ahead in the future, knowing where the demographics was going, understanding the various communities, that you need to teach folks and inspire folks in their language, number one. That's why when we have workshops such as for brownfields and contaminated sites, our workshops are in Spanish with English translation. It is important to speak the language of the people there you're working with. And thank God, I still, in my little mixed pocho Spanish, I'm able to communicate and understand. So tonight is about celebrating. So let's get the celebration going. We are very fortunate to have some incredible supporters and speakers with us this evening, some beautiful singers. We even have the mariachis from the LA Rams and Go LA Rams. So I'm starting the celebration. Here's my shot of tequila. It's called La Cava del Oro. And it is fabulous and tasty. So here's to all of our supporters, our donors, and our guests for the evening. Feliz cumpleaños, mujeres. And lastly, I want you to introduce our next speaker, who has not only been a really good friend, she was our landlady for a while. And that's Miss Judy Baca, who is a internationally known muralist, monument builder, the inspiration of so many children and students at UCLA, but is very well known for the Great Wall that's built within the walls of the Los Angeles River and the Valley. This woman is a poet, is an artist, and she is a living legend, and we're very, very fortunate to have her as one of our supporters, Miss Judy Baca. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Judith Francisca Baca. I'm a visual artist and a professor from UCLA and a longtime friend of the Mujeres de la Tierra. In fact, 15 years ago, and we're now celebrating their Quinceanera, they were first housed in the Social and Public Art Resource Center's facility. So I got to see the birthing of this organization. And over the years, I have worked with Irma on various projects, and I've had the great pleasure of watching women empower themselves in the Northeast community of Los Angeles for environmental justice and environmental equity. This is one of the most important things we can do today because our planet is in trouble, and no communities are more impacted than our communities of color. So the fact that the people are beginning to advocate, and that the Mujeres have done this work, bringing this information to the communities so that they can advocate for their wellness, could not be more important than it is today in the middle of a pandemic. So in this last year, Mujeres has been working to bring information to our communities, to help people with coping with this really difficult circumstances that we are living in, distributing masks, giving information about wellness. And I think that perhaps the most important work that we can do as people who advocate for social justice is work on our environment and advocate for the healing and wellness of our environment. And it means also that those people most impacted by environmental injustice are women and children. So I really advocate strongly for people supporting the Mujeres, for celebrating their Quinceanera, and to say to everyone at Mujeres de la Tierra, congratulations for your 15th year. And I hope that there are 15 more and 15 more to keep doing the work we need to do. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your kind words, Miss Judy Baca. They really mean a lot, especially coming from you, who have been with us from the very beginning. I know last year you were our Grand Marshal for our parade for Mujeres de la Tierra leading up to our big event. So it's very special that you were able to commemorate this evening with your special words. Thank you. Next, we have a brief statement from Congressmember Karen Bass, a true leader in her own right, always fighting for equality for all. She is a champion for us in Congress, and boy, do we need it right now. She's also a friend to our organization and a neighbor to our very own Executive Director, Irma Munoz. With no further delays, I bring you Ms. Karen Bass. Thank you.
And I am happy to salute you and congratulate you on your quinceanera, to the Mujeres de la Tierra for the work that you have done over these last 15 years in our community. You have made an outstanding difference. I can't think of work that is more important right now than focusing on our environment, focusing on climate change, and building the leadership to do that, because we know that the struggle for social, economic, and environmental justice is a struggle that goes on our entire lifetime. So we always need new leaders. Your work on beautification, your work on understanding the power of one, that one individual can bring about tremendous change. I am happy to join you and congratulate you, and I want to give a special shout out to my friend and neighbor, Irma Munoz, for your leadership over these years. I wish you another 15, 20, 30 years. Continue bringing about positive change in our community. Thank you so much.
Wow, bravo, that was so amazing. That was back to back, just powerful women.
That's right. Arriba las mujeres.
Arriba las mujeres. So, Mrs. Karen Bass, congratulations also on your re-election. We definitely need the representation, and boy, do we need you. So
And let's celebrate that.
Ay, no quiere. Well, there you go. So, speaking of powerful women, something that I love about Mujeres de la Tierra, and this happened years ago when I was a volunteer. I started as a volunteer with Mujeres de la Tierra, and is their engagement with the community and their engagement with other women in the community. And with that, we want to introduce you Acción Comunitaria. They are a group of women in the Cypress Park and Nela region, which is where the offices of Mujeres de la Tierra is located. This next group hosts different family events such as street cleanups and food distribution.
That's right. And you know what? Let's remind our audience that Mujeres de la Tierra ultimate goal is to educate community members, many of which are immigrants and people of color, to so they can be provided with proper resources and have their voices heard.
And without further ado, Acción Comunitaria.
Veamos el video.
Aquí están las mujeres de Acción Comunitaria preparando todo, no se les olvide. A las 5 de la tarde vamos a dar inicio a esta distribución. Los esperamos, las que no se han anotado o registrado, que los esperamos. Ahorita tenemos más de 100 personas que vamos a esperar muy pronto. Así es que gracias muchachas por estar aquí.
Leticia García. Guadalupe Hernández. Sonia Guerra. Teresa Román. Amparo González. Carlos Fernández. Teresa Mesa. Olga Sánchez. Leticia Jiménez.
Acción Comunitaria es un grupo de mujeres líderes de la comunidad que con la unión, la fuerza y el trabajo ayudamos a los demás. Estamos enfocadas en que nuestra voz sea escuchada en los diferentes asuntos y necesidades de las familias. Limpiamos calles y lugares públicos para tener un medio ambiente más limpio. Con la distribución de comidas y frutas y verduras, lograremos una vida más saludable para las familias. Ha sido un gran ejemplo. Nos ha enseñado principalmente a cuidar más el medio ambiente, a empoderarnos, a conocer nuestros derechos y cuidar de nuestras familias. Lo más importante es que cada una de ellas ve en nosotros el poder ayudar a los demás. Gracias a esas organizaciones hemos podido traer comidas saludables a las mesas de las familias. Pero sobre todo hemos creado una confianza entre nosotras mismas y nos hemos ayudado mutuamente, nos estamos cuidando también mutuamente. Gracias a ellos también hemos podido lograr metas que hace mucho tiempo no podríamos haberlos hecho sin su soporte, ya sea económico o educativo o de alguna otra manera, como el darnos un taller de liderazgo que Mujeres de la Tierra nos dio hace mucho tiempo. Ese fue un taller muy importante porque nos enseñó desde muy abajo cómo aprender a hacer muchas cosas que nosotros no sabíamos hacer, como desde tener una página para hacer nuestros correos electrónicos, para hacer un flyer, para meternos a diferentes cosas que buscar para las necesidades que tenían nuestras familias.
Felicidades por las Mujeres de la Tierra que han ayudado a esta comunidad para todo. Y eso estoy contenta y espero que todas las que vienen aquí a agarrar su comida estén también contentas, agradecidas con Mujeres de la Tierra.
Mujeres de la Tierra han apoyado a acción comunitaria en muchas cosas y la verdad me siento contenta porque también nos han regalado cosas básicas que utilizamos mayormente ahorita por la pandemia. Han sido como, por ejemplo, pamper para mi baby. En las otras bolsas que me dieron venían pasta, desodorante, toallas higiénicas, cosas que uno lo usa y estoy contenta porque han sabido cómo regalarnos algo que necesitamos. Y también otra cosa que quiero decir, he aprendido con ellos lo que es la charla que es del censo, que yo antes no sabía, ahora ya sé cómo es que debemos de anotarnos para el censo. Y me siento contenta por conocer a Madre Tierra y ahora están cumpliendo ellos 15 años de sus podría decir de su trayectoria, ¿verdad? De todos los eventos que han hecho y me siento contenta y le mando un saludo muy cordial al grupo Madre Tierra, principalmente a la señora Irma, y de que muchas gracias por todo lo que han hecho y por apoyarnos y que siempre vamos a estar con ellos en lo que ellos necesiten y muchas gracias y felicidades por los 15 años que llevan de todos los eventos que han hecho y la verdad me siento muy contenta. Muchas gracias. ¡Felicidades!
So beautiful. That is the type of work that Mujeres de la Tierra does. Always connected and always have a pulse on the community. Acción Comunitario, I hope that you are listening. Espero que estén participando también en este medio de hoy, porque no podemos hacer este trabajo sin ustedes. I really thank the organization, as you saw for yourself tonight. Mujeres de la Tierra always has the communication with the community and is always very open-minded on how we do our community outreach. And for that, I thank all of the staff and I thank Irma Munoz also. Next up on our agenda for this evening is just to tell you a little bit about the work that Mujeres de la Tierra does. For those of you who've been with us since the very beginning, you already know this, but for some of you, you're getting a little bit more familiar with some of our work. Over the last few years, Mujeres de la Tierra, I should say over the last 7 years, Mujeres de la Tierra has celebrated Community Service Day for both Cesar Chavez and for MLK Day. And we do this with a lot of devotion and we do this with a lot of community groups. And we've been doing this in the Northeast Los Angeles area and also at Kenihan Park. And through our efforts, this work that we've been doing over the years inspired the organization just to do more. The process of creating a tree grove was done organically, and it was done out of a necessity because we didn't have enough trees when we would do cleanups at Kennethon Park. We felt that we could do a little bit more, and we thought we should share this idea with Supervisor Ridley Thomas and with his staff, Carly Katona. A partnership was formed, and I tell you, all of this comes organically because when we have a thought, we don't do it insularly. We do it with many. We do it with many groups, and we do it with our leaders. And through the leadership of Supervisor Ridley Thomas, an oak tree grove was formed, and it was created overnight. Anybody who does work in government, we know that these things take time. But we were able to do this in 9 months. And the tree grove overlooks the city of Los Angeles and is truly inspirational. As you'll see in the videos to follow, you'll get a slight peek at it. I hope that if you are ever in the need for hiking or just want to escape a little bit, I hope you're able to visit it. Our next presentation is from Supervisor Ridley Thomas in his congratulatory video. I'd be remiss if I didn't also congratulate our newly elected Los Angeles City Council member. Congratulations on your victory this week. Supervisor Ridley Thomas is a friend to the organization, and he is a friend to our executive director as well, Irma Munoz. And with no further delay, I present to you Mr. Supervisor Ridley Thomas. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, and I'm honored to join you in celebrating Irma Munoz and all of the Mujeres de la Tierra on the eve of their Quinceanera. We celebrate the Mujeres today and every day for their tireless work to promote the environment and social justice. I'd also like to congratulate Mia, Marty, and Enrique, our well-deserving honorees tonight. From improving our green and open spaces to promoting public health in the face of COVID-19, the Mujeres and tonight's honorees are doing all they can to make our community and our planet a better place. We acknowledge them, we thank them, and we urge them to do all that they can do every day. Thank you again for this opportunity to join you this evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of the program.
Bravo and thank you. Muchas gracias.
Today we meet Dr. King at the mountaintop. And I believe once you experience the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Tree Grove here at the very top of Kennethon State Park, you will find few other spaces, few other places so peacefully, so exquisitely, and so humbling that will facilitate and inspire your reflection of his life.
This is really a community effort, and that's what Dr. King's about. Is everybody come together, focus on the common goal, common vision, and that's what we get here.
Thank you. What a beautiful tribute that we had from Supervisor Ridley Thomas. And I hope that you all enjoyed seeing just a little bit of the work that Mujeres de la Tierra has done with the council member, council member, and our beautiful oak tree grove at Kenneth Hahn State Park. Next, we have the new council member, Kevin DeLeon. And our executive director, Irma Munoz, has known Mr. Kevin DeLeon for a really long time, just when he was a union organizer. They met at the cornfields. Anybody been around the organization for a long time knows what I'm talking about. The cornfields is the beautiful LA State Historic Park. And as an organizer, Kevin was there. He was actually there and fighting to be able to bring parks to downtown Los Angeles when it wasn't being discussed. I remember this project myself. And it is important to be able to connect and also honor all of our friends and leaders who've been with us from the very beginning. And that is Councilmember Kevin DeLeon through his leadership. And we're blessed and fortunate enough to have him now at City Council in Los Angeles. So continued partnership with him as well. I present to you Mr. Kevin DeLeon's short video. Thank you.
Hi everybody, this is Kevin DeLeon. I want to give a very special shout out to all the incredible supporters of Mujeres de la Tierra, but especially to my very good friend, Irma Munoz. It is because of who you are and the values that you espouse, fighting every day to make sure that every single child has a right to breathe clean air into their lungs, championing the very righteous issue to make sure that all of our children, regardless of who you are and where you come from, deserve the right to drink clean water, and to make sure that you have green grass that grows underneath your feet, that we have open space, green spaces for all, not just for some. And that's why it is so incredibly important that we celebrate and we recognize Mujeres de la Tierra during this virtual ceremony. So all the incredible supporters of Irma Munoz and Mujeres de la Tierra, thank you for your incredible support. For potential future supporters of Mujeres de la Tierra, well, you know what? I'm a big supporter. We need to step up and do what's right. Get off the sidelines, get on the front lines to make sure that Mujeres de la Tierra can continue to be that sharp tip of the spear as we move towards a climate that is breathable for all individuals, as we move towards environmental justice, not injustice. And that's why, again, I champion everything that Irma Munoz has been doing for those years, being in the trenches and fighting for what's right and making sure that environmentalism is not a boutique-ish issue, that it's actually democratized for all individuals, regardless if you have the financial wherewithal or the educational team to access the greatest, the latest, the greenest, the most innovative technology. That's why we are who we are in Los Angeles, and that's why you are who you are, Irma Munoz. So gracias, un abrazo muy fuerte. Let's make sure we support Mujeres de la Tierra y felicidades.
That is right. Supporters, donate to this side.
That was so inspirational. You know, Mujeres de la Tierra really it does show in the people. Look at all the people that
support and have their back, Irma's back, and Mujeres de la Tierra. Because
the work shows. And Mr. Kevin De Leon, thank you so much for being a lecturer over at UCLA, and you know, teaching the better good and sticking with Mujeres de la Tierra from the very beginning. Now, speaking of lecturing and education, we want to talk to you guys about telenovelas in the park. I introduced myself early on as Maria de los Remedios.
And I'm Antonio Cabezon, but I'm just playing that role. My real name is Dan Lopecci, and I'm an actor in
I am Graciela Rodriguez, and I am also an actor amongst many other things, right? It's like a Renaissance period right now. It's like science meets the arts, right? And that's what telenovelas in the park is. It is a show
that showcases key messages like California drought, the impact of plastic pollution, and water conservation. We touch those messages throughout the whole play, but in a very engaging way. So that's what had me jump in on board, and I just started with them. I actually started with the project 6 years ago, and I have not regret a second of it.
Oh no, I mean, I think that when I started as a volunteer for one of the fundraising events back like 5 years ago as the bar coordinator. And I went out and I looked into Mujeres de la Tierra, and I remember thinking to myself, this is exactly what I want to do with my artistic platform. I want to educate while I perform, you know, I want to use my artistic voice to spread a better good. And I feel like I almost manifested this, which, you know.
You know what's worth mentioning? And I got to give credit to Mujeres de la Tierra and all of its members like Paola Machan, Irma Munoz, for being creative. Because it's easy to make a translated educational pamphlet or a brochure and hand them out, which probably they do, but they stepped it up. And they actually had the performing arts and the educational programming combined together and created this beautiful project that helps people understand what healing of La Madre Tierra means.
Really means with Latino culture, right? Telenovelas.
Telenovelas. ¿Por qué me has abandonado, María de los Remedios? But you know what? That's so fun to watch. People have actually engaged. And the most important part is that me, myself, have been educated. Before I would buy plastic bottles and water, and I would use plastic bags. Now I won't go to a supermarket without mi abuelita bag or the tote bags.
And myself, I this year I said I will not buy a plastic bottle, and I haven't. I bought a filtration system. So there's these little things, and then because I changed my habits, it was just so contagious to the people around me. So Telenovelas in the Park usually gets performed every summer at local communities. But because of COVID, we won't be doing those live performances. However,
stay tuned. We have a surprise for you.
We have something that's really good for you. But yeah, so Telenovelas in the Park is something you got to check out. We do want to move on with the program and go ahead and at Quinceanera, you typically honor
madrinos, padrinos del cuchillo, del pastel, del mariachi, del DJ, todos padrinos de todo. Y en esta ocasión no es la excepción. We also have madrinos y padrinos in this tonight's celebration.
Yes. And we have one madrina and two padrinos.
Wow, esos hombres. We're helping the empowerment of women. That's great. That's why I'm here, standing right next to you and standing in front of your screen. Pero como caballero, me gustaría empezar con las damas.
Claro que sí. Our next person that we're going to go ahead and honor is our madrina, Mia Lear. And this amazing person is a founded MLA with a vision to improve quality of life through landscape. She is internationally known, recognized for progressive landscape and designs that works towards a more climate appropriate future. How appropriate for Mujeres de la Tierra. Without further ado, Mrs. Mia.
Gracias, Mia.
Good evening, and thank you all so much for joining us and staying tuned in. We are now at the Madrina Award for Mujeres de la Tierra, and that distinct honor goes to Miss Mia Lear. Miss Mia Lear is a friend to the organization. She's a friend to our executive director and friend to many of you all who are listening tonight. She is somebody that comes to us from the very, very beginning when it was hard to be able to get support for the organization 15 years ago. Mia Laird has been there for the organization, and she's been a champion for us and helping us and guiding us, and also just being able to provide financial support, when possible. She does this through the kindness of her heart and through the generosity of her organization. We are extremely, grateful, and there's not enough thank yous that we can give for your generosity and just for your guidance throughout these years. You have also helped us to be able to legitimize our organization, and I say that with kind words for our organization, because when you're a young organization, you need help to be able to establish a portfolio and establish yourself as an organization. And Mia has helped us throughout that process, and we are extremely grateful. With no further ado, muchas felicidades, amiga. Mia Laird, Madrina Award.
Buenas noches y mil gracias por este gran honor. A Teresa Villegas y todo el Board of Directors, thank you very much for this great honor. I especially for a quinceanera event. As you can see, I try to quinceanera myself. Ha sido un gran honor a través de los años de llegar a conocer a Irma Muñoz. Ella es tan importante para nuestra comunidad, una mujer dinámica, brillante y con un centro moral y un interés por la justicia social que valoramos muchísimo. Es como una hermana de otra madre y siempre pienso en lo importante que es ella como para las demás madres y niñas, abuelas con las que se trabaja, en la cual ella como organización y con las mujeres con quien ella trabaja han hecho tantas actividades importantes para hacer que las comunidades se sientan acogidas, para poder tener una influencia en el futuro de ellas y de sus familias. En un momento tuve la oportunidad de recibir a mi madre hace como 10 años en una de las reuniones participativas que había organizado Mujeres de la Tierra. Había venido ella de El Salvador y quería ver qué era lo que yo de veras hacía y se quedó muy conmovida. Con eso les digo, I'm really pleased and appreciative for this great honor on the 15th anniversary of Mujeres de la Tierra, a wonderful organization, an important organization in our city. This is a model for other cities of ways to really engage meaningfully the community, and a wonderful example for young leaders and young women as to how to make a difference in their communities and find career paths, whether you're a lawyer or you're environmentalist or you're a designer or you're an artist or a writer or a photographer. There are opportunities in organizations like this, and they leave an impact. Es un importante impacto el que tiene la organización y es un gran honor, sobre todo esta semana, un momento de alegría para mí y para mi familia. Gracias.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Los saluda su amiga Mónica Rojas. Y bueno, pues quiero enviar un abrazo fuerte, una gran felicitación a Mujeres de la Tierra, esta gran organización que se encarga de hacer labor social y labor comunitaria en Los Ángeles, California. Y pues bueno, que reúne el esfuerzo de todas estas mujeres maravillosas que entregan este apoyo a las comunidades de Los Ángeles, California. Y bueno, pues me he visto de verde precisamente para estar acorde con el logo de Mujeres de la Tierra y enviarles este bonito saludo y esta felicitación. Felicitaciones en especial a la señora Irma Muñoz, directora ejecutiva de Mujeres de la Tierra y fundadora también de esta organización. Y pues bueno, la señora Irma me solicitó que les enviara un saludo musical a todas ustedes y muy en especial a la señora Mia Lear en agradecimiento a todo el apoyo que ha brindado a Mujeres de la Tierra. Y bueno, pues con mucho cariño vamos a dedicar esta canción a la madrina de la quinceañera, Mia Lear. Esto que dice así.
Valiente en tu casa y en cualquier lugar, a ti rosa fresca de abril, a ti mi ti mi respeto, señora, señora, señora. A ti mi guerrera invencible, a ti luchadora incansable, a ti mi amiga constante de todas las horas. Su nombre es un nombre común como las margaritas, y siempre mi poca presencia constante en tu mente. Y para no hacer tanto alarde de esa mujer de quien hablo, es linda mi amiga gaviota, su nombre es mi madre. A ti te dedico mis versos, mi ser, mis victorias. A ti mi respeto, señora, señora, señora. Y para no hacer tanto alarde de esa mujer de quien hablo, es linda mi amiga gaviota. Su nombre es mi madre.
Felicidades, felicidades, mujeres de la tierra. Un abrazo cariñoso de su amiga Mónica Rojas. Felicidades y enhorabuena.
¡Wow! Lindísimo.
¡Qué talento, Mónica
¡Qué
Rojas!
talento! Ya quisiera. Cántame una canción así tú.
Me gusta tocar guitarra, me gusta tocar el son. Mariachis me acompañan cuando bailo mi canción.
So it's not too late to go ahead and sign on and upgrade your tickets for the break rooms. You can go ahead and do that. And then donations, obviously, all the proceeds go to the amazing things, all the amazing things you see that Mujeres de la Tierra do. Now, time to honor our padrinos de honor.
Padrinos de honor, así
Padrinos de
es.
honor. So we're going to go ahead and honor Marty Adams.
And Enrique Saldívar.
Padrinos. Gracias, padrinos. Oh, ¿cómo se les dice? ¿Ninos?
Ninos, en inglés se dice
Godfather.
Godfather.
Ooh, that's a good series.
Entonces, ¿qué te puedo decir?
Well, yeah, no, just
Es bonito tener padrinos porque they represent part of the celebration somehow, in some way, right?
well, yeah, they're like the second parents in traditional quinceañeras and baptisms.
That's right.
So without further ado, Mr. Marty Adams and
Enrique Saldívar.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're excited to be celebrating our Quinceanera with Mujeres de la Tierra. Already been around for 15 years. It's amazing how time flies when you're having fun. There's a lot of truth to that. It is my distinct pleasure tonight to join you via this platform and honor two padrinos this year. Two, because it takes a village to raise a family. And one of those padrinos that we're very honored tonight to present this award to is Mr. Marty Adams, head of the Department of Water and Power for the City of Los Angeles. We call him a friend. We call him a true visionary for our organization and someone who's been able to give us a lot of guidance and a lot of support over the years for our organization. Over the last 15 years, the donations made by the Department of Water and Power have helped so many of our different programs. Programs like the telenovelas in the park that has been a great success over the last 15 years. We were able to visit many, many parks throughout the city of Los Angeles to spread the word about water quality, water drought, when we were experiencing those issues, and the evolving energy work that's always changing. The donations that the Department of Water and Power have also provided us the ability to be able to do some of our work in the ground in the Northeast Los Angeles area, just doing a lot of trainings and education and outreach on so many important projects that are going on with the City of Los Angeles. It's tremendous because the seed money that Department of Water and Power through Marty's leadership have really been able to flourish and get us to where we're at today. And we could not have done it without your ongoing support. We are really, truly blessed. Thank you very much at this time. It is my distinct honor and privilege and also along with the Board of Directors and our Executive Director to present you the Padrino Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Teresa. And I'd like to thank Mujeres de la Tierra for this extraordinary honor. It is truly an honor to be able to accept this award and to be recognized on behalf of the department for our relationship and work that we've done together. Our work with Mujeres goes back many years, and you have really helped us to reach the community and get to folks who we may not normally get in touch with, and really speak to people in a way and in a language that they comprehend and understand, and help us to get our message out about water and energy efficiency, about programs we offer, about projects we're doing. You are such a valuable part of our communication effort, and really your grassroots connection with the communities that we serve is so critical to us and our success that I cannot thank you enough and acknowledge enough the relationship that we have. I'd also like to thank Irma Munoz, who's been a close partner and colleague in really serving the community and really fostering this relationship between Mujeres and LADWP. Again, together we serve the community, and you help us to do our jobs and to do it better and more correctly, and really reach the folks that we struggle to reach by ourselves. And thank you for helping to get our message out for this wonderful relationship. And again, thank you so much for the award and the recognition. It's my pleasure. We'll continue many more years in the future of this fantastic outreach to the community as close partners. We have so much work to do, and we need you to help us do it. And we look forward to all the years ahead. Thank you again.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. On behalf of the Board of Directors for Mujeres de la Tierra and our fabulous Executive Director, Irma Munoz, we are very honored and excited to present the next award, the Padrino Award, to Mr. Enrique Zaldivar. The Padrino Award, as you've heard this evening, is representative of someone who has been with the organization from the very beginning. And that's just who Mr. Enrique Zaldivar is. He's been able to give us guidance, consejos, a lot of advice, and a lot of goodwill. And that is all that we need to be able to get through these last 15 years without having somebody from the very beginning able to give us that guidance. I don't know where we would be today, because Mr. Enrique Zaldivar is someone who's been with his organization for at least 35 years and has a lot of institutional knowledge to be able to help Mujeres de la Tierra. We're a small nonprofit aimed at educating women, mothers, children, school, on many environmental issues that protect Mother Earth, La Tierra Madre. And we are very fortunate to have such key leaders with us from day one. On behalf of the Board of Directors and our Executive Director and all of the staff for Mujeres de la Tierra, I am very honored and thrilled to be able to present this award to Mr. Enrique Zaldivar. Felicidades. On behalf of Mujeres de la Tierra, we present to you the Padrino Award. May you exhibit this with a lot of pride, and you see that it's a mosaic. It's a partnership that Mujeres de la Tierra does with a nonprofit that helps the homeless, and so they are the ones that actually do the whole award for us, and we hope that you're able to exhibit it with a lot of pride. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I accept it with a great deal of honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas, for presenting me this very distinguished award. On behalf of the entire board, of the Mujeres de la Tierra and its wonderful director, Irma Munoz. I feel young again. 15 years, Quinceanera. What a wonderful milestone for an organization that had started from the ground with an incredible amalgamation of so many values fused into one common purpose. You bring in art, you bring in culture, you celebrate culture, but most importantly, you protect Mother Earth, Tierra Madre. That is where I come in. Yes, I love the art, I love the culture, but I truly, wholeheartedly believe in protecting Mother Earth. That is why I have always supported Mujeres, have always believed in your mission, and I'm ever, ever grateful for your recognition. On behalf of all 3,500 employees at LA San, thank you. Thank you for recognizing our work. And may so much lie ahead in your bright future. Thank you.
Bueno, y pues aquí también saludando también a los padrinos que han apoyado por todos estos años a Mujeres de la Tierra, fundada por la señora Irma Muñoz, quien es su directora ejecutiva. Un saludo también a los padrinos, un abrazo porque también son parte de esta organización, los padrinos Maury Adams y Enrique Saldívar. Y bueno, pues la quinceañera Mujeres de la Tierra quiere también dedicar una canción a los padrinos. Así esta canción pues es dedicada a esas personas que han estado siempre presentes, que llevan de la mano, así como lo han hecho ellos, a Mujeres de la Tierra, llevarlos de la mano como una niña, como una hija, y que ahora es una linda quinceañera. Entonces esta canción dedicada para ellos, con muchísimo cariño y agradecimiento por todo su apoyo. Que queremos que siempre estén con nosotros, que se queden con nosotros y que permanezcan siempre con nosotros. Maury Adams y Enrique Saldívar, esta canción para ustedes.
Perdiendo en el tiempo, mis años se van quedando muy lejos. Ya no me lleva mi padre en la mano, solamente sus consejos. Viven en mí los recuerdos de niño, cuando una estrella deseaba. Como recuerdo a mi padre, que con eso sonreía mientras mi madre miraba. Años que vienen despacio, primero, con qué lentitud avanza. Como quería ser grande, recuerdo, para no quedarme en casa y acompañar a mi padre muy lejos, tal vez hasta el fin del mundo, porque mi padre era fuerte, era muy inteligente, era mejor que ninguno. Hoy ya no quiero que pasen los años, porque mi padre ya está viejo. Se le han cubierto de arrugas sus manos y de nieve sus cabellos. Oh Señor, detén el tiempo, te pido, porque tú puedes hacerlo, porque yo en verdad no entiendo, Dios mío, por qué se nos va lo bueno. cansen un día tus pasos. Yo quiero ser quien los cuide. Y mientras tanto dame el brazo y vamos a ver qué vas a decirme.
Padrinos, Mario Adams, Enrique Saldívar, gracias y felicidades también porque estamos festejando con ustedes esta quinceañera de Mujeres de la Tierra. Gracias, abrazo también para la señora Irma Muñoz y a todas esas bellas mujeres que son parte de Mujeres de la Tierra. Su amiga Mónica Rojas les desea lo mejor, feliz quinceañera. Gracias.
Beautiful song. This is what we're talking about when we say culture. We bring our culture and we bring our work. And we do it with a lot of love and a lot of attention. I hope that our audiences who are watching us, our audience and our padrinos and our madrina really enjoyed that beautiful touch of music. Que voz tan linda, Mónica Rojas. Thank you so much. That was really touching. You know, at this time, as we're closing out our program, again, thank you, audience, for sticking around. Apologies for the glitches in the beginning, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank everybody who has helped us throughout 2020. It's not been an easy year. But you have come through for us. And I wanted just to say a few words to our sponsors at this time. I will read a list. You'll see them here. Thank you to all of our sponsors, but I do think that it is appropriate just to call them out because they deserve it. I will be quick so some of you can get to your breakout sessions. Supervisor Ridley Thomas, Los Angeles Water and Power, LA Sanitation and the Environment, SA Recycling, Amazon, Edison, California Domestic Water Company, 5 Point, Dake Wilson Architects, Water Replenishment District of Southern California, CDM Smith, California Metals Coalition, Boeing, The Gas Company, American Chemistry Council, Ortega Strategy Group, Las Virgenes Municipal Water District, Cordoba Corp, Coca-Cola, LA Sanitation District, CDX, California, Metal-X, Kindle Kagan, Madeline Glickfeld, and Egasco Law Group. At this time, I also wanted to thank our marvelous staff. You've heard her name over and over tonight. Our president and CEO, Irma Muñoz, thank you so much. We love you so much. Our operations manager, Paola Machan, thank you for your kind dedication to the organization. Our community engagement liaison, AmeriCorps Vista, Anna Aldaco, thank you so much also for helping us and for sticking with us throughout this year. It's been difficult, I know. And our brand and communications specialist, also AmeriCorps Vista, Nicole Torres, thank you so much for all of your work. And last, I also want to thank all of our board of directors. You may just see me today, but behind me, there is also a lot of fabulous individuals that care about the organization. And these individuals give their attention and their love, and they honor our organization. Our treasurer is Miss Samantha Martinez. Our board members, Adan Ortega, Tracy Egasco, Linda Noriega, Elsa Lopez. Thank you so much for all of your dedication, your hard work, and also financially responsibility to the organization. All of our event volunteers for this evening, our MCs, Dan and Graciela, your fabulous work tonight. Thank you so much. We had tech support for tonight's event as well, Miss Samantha Celaya. Thank you very much. And all of the board breakout rooms, Blanca Araceli, Amaury Sanabria, and Veronica Gutierrez. And our video and editing, Renee Ponce. At this time, I'll turn it back to our MCs. Good evening, buenas noches, and thank you for everything.
Okay, well, you know, they say that it's usually bad luck to cheers with water, but from what we've learned with Mujeres de la Tierra is that actually water is very precious and it's one of the most expensive resources. And I say expensive as in treasure, right? It's a treasure.
Exactly.
So let's cheers to Mujeres de la Tierra.
But before we cheer, thank you, Teresa Villegas, for co-hosting with us. You're the best. Luchona, mujer.
Mira, mira.
Sabe lo que hace. You know what you're doing. I applaud your work. Okay, cheers with water. Salud.
A 15 más años.
15 more years, 15 más años de esto. To 15 more years of Mujeres de la Tierra. Cheers.
Salud.
Ay, qué rica está el agua.
No, pues sí.
Es de Jamaica. No. Nos vemos.
Hasta luego. Buenas
luego.
noches.
Adiós.
Stay tuned for telenovelas in the park.
That's right. Bueno, hay que seguir
Alkaline
tomando agua.
water.
Alkaline water.